you think it can keep up?
Nope. I don't think we've ever had a day this long.
Hope that wasn't a complaint.
Not on your life.
What do we got next, Jim?
Ms. Morrow with the UTI.
Again? Hi, Miss Morrow. You want to step into number 2? You can bring Daniel and Chris with you. That medication didn't work, huh?
There you go.
Thanks, Russ.
Think you got a secret admirer?
Oh?
Yeah, Mr. Carlton sent over 24 specimen cups free, along with a wink and the words, "Give Lucille my best."
Specimen cups. And they say romance is dead.
Okay, Mrs. Wilson. Mrs. Redland will check you out. Just have a seat here. Oh, and I'm serious about those cigarettes.
Have you touched base with Stacy yet?
Yeah, she said she'd be right over. Well, you certainly didn't waste any time getting here.
Dad, that's because we don't have any time to waste. Mom's planning on marrying Lee Carruthers in just a few hours, and we've got to come up with a way to stop her.
Well, how's the groom feeling this morning?
Fantastic. And what about the best man?
Like I just won the lottery. Or more appropriately, like you just won the election.
Well, now that I've got Kate, it's practically in the bag.
Well, then why aren't you at home packing? We have a few miles to travel, you know.
I was just about to leave, but first I want you to take a look at this and rework it if you think it's necessary, but make sure that you release it to the press before you go.
Well, let's see here. Lee Carruthers, congressional candidate for the 16th District, etc., announced today that he and his new wife, the former Catherine Barrett Phillips, etc., will honeymoon at Avalon Springs, a restored turn-of-the-century resort 60 miles north of Kingsley. Carruthers was offered the use of a friend's vacation home in the Bahamas, but turned it down, saying, "This is the greatest vacation state in the country. Why should I bother going anywhere else?" You're the only man I know of who can turn a honeymoon trip into a political statement.
Well, why not? My marriage certainly will be one.
Well, tell me something. Were you really offered a home in the Bahamas?
Of course not. But I thought it was such a nice touch, I couldn't resist it. We did it, Sebastian. We got Kate Phillips.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to stop us now.
Nothing. Nothing. I've got some good news myself. You and Kate are going to be married by the Honorable Timothy Sawyer.
You mean Judge Tim Sawyer? Boy, how did you manage that?
Well, let's just leave it at I did.
He's the most visible black leader in Kingsley.
I'm aware of that.
That is practically an endorsement.
I'm aware of that, too. Just consider it my wedding present.
Sebastian, you are incredible.
I'm also aware of that. Now, do me a favor and get out of here, will you? I don't want you to be late for your own wedding.
Well, if I am, then the bride will be too, because we're going up together.
Well, that's even worse. Go.
Okay.
Okay, I compared this list. Finally, I was wondering when you were going to leave.
Well, I'm on my way now.
Well, all the best, and I'll see you in a couple of days.
Thank you. Will you change your mind about coming to the wedding?
Well, she most certainly will not. I mean, who's going to handle the press releases?
Duty calls.
Right. Don't you be late, Sebastian.
Oh, don't worry about me.
Goodbye, Mr. Carruthers.
Bye.
Andrea, would you step in Lee's office, please?
Sure. Just cross out the names that are duplicated.
Close the door, please.
I pulled a new photo of Lee and Kate like you wanted, and Harry promises that he'll have the copies ready for us when we hand out the press releases.
Thank you. Andrea, there's no delicate way of putting this, so I'm not going to try. I'm letting you go.
I don't understand.
You're fired. Understand that?
Yes, I understand, Jean. Well, we'll just have to do it some other time, that's all. Right. Fine. Bye.
On which day?
Oh, he's in room 3 with Stacy. It's not a very happy day for those two.
Yeah.
That was Gene I was just talking to. He's been invited to cover the wedding. I hope he's smart enough to see this union for what it is. You know, that man doesn't love Kate Phillips. She's making a big mistake.
Well, unfortunately, Ione, that's her prerogative.
She's going to pay some heavy dues for that, I can tell you that.
Stacy, I tried, but it just isn't going to happen. I don't like accepting it any more than you do, but your mother's going to marry Lee. Are you going to the wedding?
I don't want to.
I think you should. All wounds heal in time, Stacy. Don't make this one any deeper than it has to be. Your mother will be very disappointed if you don't make it. Would you do a favor for me? Would you please tell her that I never wanted anything but her happiness, and that I hope she'll find it now. I tell her myself, but I think you'd better go. You don't want to be late.
You want me to call you when I get back tonight?
No, that's probably not a very good thing to do.
But this campaign needs me. There's still so much to be done.
Yes, and there's a great deal that could be undone if you're still around. You're out.
You can't do that. Only Lee has the authority.
I hire and fire in this office.
He'll never allow it.
Lee does what he's told. Besides, he's not an idiot. He'll see the wisdom of this. Look, save yourself the embarrassment of hearing him tell you himself.
You are wrong, and I'll prove it. If I hurry, I can still catch him.
Andrea, when you see him, do me a favor. Tell him that there's $500 missing from petty cash. I'll tell him who took it.
I didn't touch that money.
No? Well, I can present a pretty convincing story that you did.
And I'll deny it.
You'll deny it from the city jail.
You wouldn't.
My dear, if you'll check my record, you'll find that I never bluff. You'll be out of here in an hour. Excuse me.
Andrea, are you all right?
No, I was just fired.
What? Why?
I don't understand it.
It's because of me, isn't it? Because I lost that file yesterday afternoon.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Well, then why?
Rose, would you please call Renee and make sure that everything is taken care of?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. If you really love me, then you'll accept this as something I really want. I've tried to make our relationship work, but well, let's face it, we can never recapture the past.
you love him, Kate?
I admire everything he stands for.
Yes, but do you love him?
Yes?
Good morning. Is Mrs. Phillips here?
Well, yes, but she's rather busy right now.
Well, I know that, but could you tell her it's Terry Davidson and ask her if she could just spare me a few minutes, please?
Please, come in.
Thank you.
Terry, hello.
Hello, Kate. I realize this is a bad time for you.
Not at all, not at all. I'm way ahead of schedule. Would you put those things that I put upstairs in the other suitcase, would you?
Of course.
Thank you. Please, come in. Would you like some coffee or tea?
No, thank you.
Sit down. No doubt you've heard the news.
Yes. In fact, that's why I'm here. Kate, I know I've only known you for a very short time, and I don't mean to presume on our friendship. But do you realize that Dave is still in love with you?
Yes. And I thought I was still in love with him, but I loved what he was before. The changes that he's made, changes that are necessary for his survival, I just can't live with. They've saved him, and I'm grateful for that. But it cancels out any possibilities that might be between us. I think I know Dave well enough to say that in time he'll come to realize this.
In time.
The things that are important to Dave, things like his faith, those are the same things that are important to you, too. I think this is a very difficult time for Dave. And you could help him through it, Terry.
What was it Lee said? Are you sure you won't change your mind and come to the wedding? What a performance. He knew all along that Sebastian was going to fire me. It was all part of the game.
Game? I don't understand what's going on. You've been having an affair with Lee Carruthers.
I'm gonna pack my things and get out, just like I was ordered. And, then I'm gonna pay a visit to Kate Phillips.
But she's on her way to the wedding.
There isn't going to be a wedding.
Look, Andrea, I know you're mad, but don't do anything you're gonna regret later. I've been that route. It's not worth it.
I think it will be.
So, you're up.
You're observant.
Feel any better?
No.
Sorry. You know, you'd feel a lot better if you had something to eat.
Gil, there isn't any cure for morning sickness. I think this time you should keep your clothes in the guest room.
Yeah, maybe I should sleep in there, too.
Maybe you should if you're going to act this way. It's doctor's orders, Gil. I can't help it. There are other reasons for sleeping together, or so you've so often said.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that the way it came out. I understand.
You sound like you even might not mind it. What about all those needs of yours?
What, are you trying to start a fight?
No, I'm just curious.
Let's just drop it, okay? I'll make the sacrifice. This baby's really important to me.
Must be if you're willing to go so far.
Amber! Look, I'm just gonna get ready, okay? I'm gonna go take a shower.
A cold one, no doubt.
Sorry to leave you with all those last-minute details.
Don't give it a second thought. I'm glad to do it.
I think he's on time for once. I'm going to faint. Ah, Stacy.
Mom, may I come in?
Well, yes, of course, dear.
Well, after our conversation earlier, I
Oh,
wasn't-
please, I've forgotten all about that. I would offer you something, but Lee's supposed to be here any minute. We can go into the living room and talk for a while.
All right.
Rose, would you please get that silver brooch? I'd like to take it with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you and Lee planned any kind of a honeymoon?
Yes. 2 days in Avalon Springs. Well, that's all his schedule will permit.
That should be nice.
I think so. Are you sure you won't change your mind and come to the wedding? I don't think I've made excessive demands on either you or Amber. This is so special.
I'm sorry.
Why are you here, Stacy?
To deliver a message.
From Dave.
Yes?
You're the second person today who's come in his behalf.
The second person?
Yes. Terry Davidson was here just a short while ago.
What did she have to say?
The same thing that you're going to say, I suspect. To tell me that Dave is still in love with me.
Well, that's not what I'm here for. And I'm sure that Dad didn't send Mrs. Davidson. It doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Because he's accepted your decision. He sent me to tell you that if this is what you really want, that he hopes that you'll be very happy. He's sorry he can't tell you himself, but under the circumstances, it's...
Thank you. He's a very special man. I'm sorry that his attitude doesn't tell you something about your own. That must be Lee. You won't change your mind then?
No.
See you in a couple of days then.
Well, you must be the bride because that glow is unmistakable.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
All set?
Yes, all set.
All right, let's
Take
get
these
these to
and-
the car.
And Rose, you take the makeup case.
Sebastian's issued some very stern and potent warnings of what's going to happen if we don't get there on time.
Oh,
So,
dear.
we'll see you.
And be sure to get to the lodge as soon as you can, Rose.
Right? Mom? Would it be all right if I wear this? I mean, if it isn't, I can go back and change.
You look fine.
Then I'll see you there. Thank you.
All right, the last one in the car has got to face Sebastian. Let's go.
I have a phone call to make first, and I'll leave as soon as I'm finished with it.
See you there.
Here we go. Here we go. Aha, we're gonna have
Please stop that.
Gil, would you?
Sure. Aren't we gonna look kind of ridiculous all dressed up like this up there at that lodge?
Hardly. Mother's idea of rustic is 1 microwave oven instead of 2.
I mean, like going to the kitchen for ice rather than the refrigerator under the bar?
Yes, something like that.
There.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Almost.
Have you thought any more about when we're gonna get married?
No.
Why not?
1 step at a time, Gil. You just moved in here.
Well, in case you're interested, I'm ready for the next step.
Yes, I have noticed that. Can we talk about this some other time? I have a lot of other things on my mind right now. Coming?
Yeah.
I understand that, but my mother's getting married. All right, I'll have it to you by tomorrow afternoon. Does that mean I don't have to do the Bickerman story then? You know, Mr. McGovern, there are times when I actually wish you hadn't discovered how good I am. No, I don't want to go back to covering dog shows. Yes, I appreciate the time you've given me off. Thank you. See you tomorrow. No wonder your family crest has a rat in it.
There really isn't any way that you can get to see her. When she returns, I'll be happy to tell her that you stopped by, though.
You don't understand. This can't wait.
Is there a problem, Rose?
This is Miss Summers. She needs to see your mother.
I'm afraid you just missed her. You work for Lee Carruthers, don't you?
Yes.
But you want to see my mother?
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but it's a long story and it's very important, or otherwise I wouldn't be running around like this. Is there still time for me to catch her?
Excuse me, Rose. I'll handle this from here.
All right, I have to go to the lodge. Please lock up when you leave.
I will, thanks. The only way to catch her would be to drive up to Mirror Lake. That's where she has a lodge, and that's where they're being married.
Yes, I know. Could you give me directions, please?
Could you please tell me what this is all about?
No, I'm sorry I can't. But, you'll know soon enough.
Come on in the living room. I'll write the directions out for you.